here they are, the 4 Crew 3 astronauts as they walk down the hallway on their way out of astronaut crew quarters. Commander Raja Chari, pilot Thomas Marshburn, mission specialist Kayla Barrett, Matthias Maurer. There's a view inside the crew access arm as they make their way looking out the windows.
4 crew members of Crew 3 now inside Dragon.
And you can see the suit techs are there helping them get strapped in.
As you can see the hatch being closed right there. And there is the retraction.
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff.
While SpaceX seemed to be flying high to many outsiders, founder Elon Musk, in a company-wide email sent the day after Thanksgiving, said the lack of progress toward the company's Raptor engines puts SpaceX at a genuine risk of bankruptcy. The letter, first reported by Space Explored and confirmed by CNBC, shows Musk's frustration with the pace of Raptor engine production. The Raptor is the engine that propels the Starship rocket. In his email, the billionaire wrote, "The Raptor production crisis is much worse than it had seemed a few weeks ago. As we have dug into the issues following the exiting of prior senior management, they have unfortunately turned out to be far more severe than was reported. There is no way to sugarcoat this. I was going to take the weekend off as my first weekend off in a long time, but instead, I will be on the Raptor line all night and through the weekend." While Musk did not elaborate on prior senior management, Will Heltsley, former VP of Propulsion, departed the company a week ago. Musk said the bankruptcy risk was real if they could not achieve a Starship flight rate of at least once every 2 weeks by next year. He urged employees to return to work despite the holiday weekend, saying, "Unless you have critical family matters or cannot physically return to Hawthorne, we will need all hands on deck to recover from what is, quite frankly, a disaster." To get humans to Mars, SpaceX is building the mighty Starship spacecraft powered by the Raptor engine, one of the first to be powered by methane and designed to be reused 1,000 times. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk has his mindset on going to Mars. To do so will require a vast new spacecraft powered by a new rocket engine unlike anything that's been seen before. A feat of engineering on its own, the Raptor recently set a rocketry record by achieving the highest combustion chamber pressure of over 330 bar, which produces over 500,000 pounds of force. The Raptor is also the only engine in existence to use the full-flow staged combustion cycle for power, a historically complex process to implement. Raptor is designed to power the new reusable vehicles SpaceX is building, the Starship spacecraft and the Super Heavy rocket. Combined, these vast machines are designed to take up to 100 people into space, possibly to the Moon and Mars, with a tentative launch of humans around the Moon planned in 2023. SpaceX tested the first flight-ready version of Raptor in February 2019. It flew a Raptor for the first time on a hop test of a prototype of Starship called Starhopper. The engine has been in development for the better part of a decade, going through a number of iterations. At its core, it's like other engines, burning chemical fuel to produce thrust. But its use of liquid oxygen and methane, something largely unprecedented in the rocket industry, and its innovative design means that it just might be SpaceX's ace in the hole when it comes to exploring the solar system. SpaceX has a valuation of over $100 billion and employs 7,000 people. The company has launched a space tourism division and recently bested Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin in a fight over a $2.9 billion NASA contract. The billionaire founder has repeatedly described the production as the most challenging part of creating SpaceX's mammoth rocket. The company has steadily built up its Starship production and testing facility in Boca Chica, Texas, with multiple prototypes in work simultaneously. Musk, on the 17th of November 2021, said SpaceX will hopefully launch the first orbital Starship flight in January or February 2022, pending regulatory approval by the FAA as well as technical readiness. SpaceX wants Starship to be fully reusable, with both the rocket and its booster capable of landing after a launch and of being recovered for future flights. SpaceX's Falcon 9 rockets are partially reusable. The company can regularly land and relaunch the boosters, but not the upper portion or stage of the rocket. Musk recently said that he wasn't sure if Starship would successfully reach orbit on the first try, but emphasized that he is confident that the rocket will get to space in 2022. He also noted at the time that Starship development is at least 90% internally funded thus far, with the company not assuming any international collaboration or external funding. SpaceX has raised billions in fundings over the past several years, both for Starship and its satellite internet project Starlink, with the company's valuation recently hitting $100 billion. But while SpaceX has launched about 1,700 Starlink satellites to orbit so far, Musk said the first version of the satellite is financially weak. The company has been steadily growing Starlink's user base, with about 140,000 users paying for the service at $99 a month. Earlier this year, SpaceX outlined improvements for the second version of the satellite, with Musk saying in his email that V2 is strong but can only be launched effectively by its Starship rockets. SpaceX wants to operate a large fleet of Starships in the coming years. Indeed, perhaps 1,000 of the vehicles will be needed to colonize Mars, one of Musk's long-held dreams. The billionaire entrepreneur recently said that at the joint fall meeting of the Space Studies Board and the Board on Physics and Astronomy, both of which are part of the U.S. National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine. In 2018, standing in front of a shiny, full-scale prototype of SpaceX's Starship vehicle in South Texas, Elon Musk said he wanted the company's gigantic next-generation rocket to fly into orbit within 6 months. A bold schedule that he acknowledged required exponential improvements in design and manufacturing. Regardless of when the futuristic-looking vehicle reaches orbit for the first time, Musk told several hundred employees, local supporters, space enthusiasts, and space reporters, along with thousands more watching online, that SpaceX will build a fleet of Starships and launch them from their sites in Texas and Florida. The Raptor engine is powered by subcooled liquid methane and subcooled liquid oxygen in a full-flow staged combustion cycle, a departure from the simpler open-cycle gas generator system and kerosene propellants that many engines use. The Raptor engine is designed to use deep cryogenic propellants, fluids cooled to near their freezing points, which is typical for cryogenic rocket engines. This is the true power of the Raptors. When you take all the engineering hurdles the designers overcame, all the optimizations implemented, and all the decisions made, you end up with the most cost-efficient rocket engine in history. It is intended for Starship to have 6 Raptors mounted on it, 3 for sea-level use and 3 for vacuum use, while 28 are to be mounted on the Super Heavy booster, which will carry Starship into space. SpaceX assembled the first Starship prototypes in the open in public view, not inside a climate-controlled factory with strict cleanliness requirements. Musk said it would have taken too long to construct a dedicated assembly building for the Starship, and instead of building the vehicle out of carbon fiber as many rockets use, the Starship is made out of stainless steel. The structures of modern launch vehicles are primarily made of carbon fiber or aluminium, but rockets designed in an earlier era, such as the Atlas Centaur, conceived in the 1950s and 1960s, flew with a stainless steel skin. The Raptor is the most powerful engine ever built by SpaceX. The earlier version of the Raptor engine can produce up to 440,000 pounds of thrust at sea level, roughly equivalent to the main engines flown on the Space Shuttle. Musk has often spoken about his dream of building cities on Mars. He believes that settlements would need large numbers of people in order to become self-sustaining. Realizing this dream requires a vehicle that's up to the task. Starship is a rocket and spacecraft combination that could ferry more than 100 people at a time to the Red Planet, and it will change the dynamics of space travel. Nevertheless, Elon Musk has promised a lunar excursion in 2023 to the Japanese online retail billionaire Yusaku Maezawa. Mr. Maezawa will fly around the moon in a Starship with 8 other individuals. Musk has also said he will aim to launch one of the vehicles on an uncrewed flight to Mars in 2024. Even if the SpaceX founder's timeline might seem optimistic at times, he has also developed a reputation for eventually achieving his goals, no matter how ambitious. Let's wait and see how all this goes. Ultimately, do you think the Raptor engine will be 100% efficient and can be reused as designed? Let us know in the comment section down below. Until next time, thanks for watching.